You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are
Rope Break.
And family, always trying. That's our commitment, our pledge is to bring you the best content in professional wrestling.
Well, see, that's where I got to interrupt you, because we're not trying. We are bringing the best.
There you go. Yeah. Let's take it to the next level. Let's up her up a little more. Let's raise the stakes.
Let's raise the bar.
Yeah. Because we are, we have copyright infringement, and we both know it. But it's fine. Family, how's every single one of you? Right now, another episode of NXT UK. This is our new show that we like to cover, and we're really enjoying it. It's actually a lot more watchable than like 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. 2 hours of Are You Ready for Some Bullshit? And, NXT, AEW, Impact. I know we cover it all. That's why we're, trying. And again, we're not trying. We're the best on professional wrestling content. So we're going to be talking about this show that, this is the third one that after, its return, it wasn't as, memorable, but yet it was still good. I will say that. What do you think, Jean-Paul?
Oh, no, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's the third episode since the return. It wasn't as exciting, but we did kick off the Heritage Cup. And, to say that it wasn't as exciting isn't saying that it wasn't as good. NXT UK, all three of these, episodes have been a home run, I think. You said it perfectly. It helps that it's an hour. You sit down, okay, you get 3 matches, you get 2 segments, and then you're done. You know what I mean? You get 2 little interviews, 2 promos or whatever it be, and then you're done, and it's really enjoyable. It's a lot easier to watch, and I think that's why it is enjoyable, because you're not going, oh, I have 2 more hours of this. No, Can
I live?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't say can I live when you watch NXT UK, so that's really good. So don't forget, family, to please, check every single thing of the content. We have AEW Dynamite. We have MJF kind of teasing a join into the inner circle. That was also is interesting. Not a bad show. Dynamite, like we said, is in the comfort zone of mediocrity at moments, and then some kind of brilliance. Like NXT, predictions for NXT Takeover that is going to happen on Sunday. That is going to be also really good. Jean-Paul and I covered that. Mixed gender match, right there with Damian Priest, Io Shirai going against the Garganos. Good stuff on that. And, Cameron Grimes. You got a few stuff. So, we talk about all of that. So Jean-Paul, also SmackDown. We talk about Sami Zayn against Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental Championship.
And your favorite storyline in all of professional wrestling, the Tribal Chief.
The Tribal Chief, 5 seconds in it, I don't want to watch anymore. Like Jean-Paul says, can you please don't call him the big dog anymore? Can you just go the Tribal Chief? I just, I'm done with that storyline. Ever since done. I'm can I change the channel? But no, for you guys, I don't do it. Yeah, Jean-Paul, this was the wild card match. We're going to find out who's going to be the last competitor for the Heritage Cup. Like you said, it started out, and it was a triple threat that we were actually hoping for big names, right? We were hoping for Tyler Bate. We were hoping, like you said, maybe a Cesaro. They do something like a Swerve Scott. But no, they didn't. They gave us more guys that actually part of the NXT UK roster. And that was Ashton Smith. We never seen this guy before. So, it was actually, okay, we're getting introduced to this guy. Like I said, we never seen him before. We got Kenny Williams and his tag partner, Amir Jordan. So, this match turned out to be, good, though. I did enjoy the interactions. At some point, Smith was going to win. There was a lot of back and forth between, Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams, besides the fact that, they're a tag. They had to battle for this spot in the Heritage Cup. And you could see, at moments in the match, they will kind of see each other and be I'm going to beat you. Oh, yeah, no, I'm better than you. Despite we're a team, there was, friendly competition between them. And I really like that. So what do you think, Jean-Paul?
Yeah, I like this, too. When it was done, I liked it a lot more than when it first started, when it was going on, because I agree. I was okay, Tyler Bate, not maybe Jordan Devlin, because I don't see him coming back, but maybe we have a guy from the Performance Center that we're going to debut, or you're going to have some big names or something. Instead, like you said, they just took guys from their roster who were kind of on the rise and gave them a chance, but I don't like putting a tag team in here. I know you have Flash Morgan Webster, or I think is in the Heritage Cup. So there are guys who are in tags that are in the Cup. And I don't think NXT UK is you're only a tag team wrestler. You can't do single stuff, obviously. But, I was hoping for a big name. But this was good. The match was long. all of these guys are talented. And they had the story, like you said, the tag team would beat up Ashton Smith. And then when he was selling on the outside, they'd go after each other, but they were always like, oh, okay, you ready to do this? Yeah, let's be legit.
Yeah, like there was
And
like
then,
always like, hey, are we ready? And are we cool that we can go at it? It's like that we
yeah,
really
but
want to go.
I was hoping for that like sportsmanship between the two of them, and maybe okay, may the best man win, but we're still friends. I was hoping Smith, who was the bigger guy, would have won because I feel like that would have been a more intriguing matchup to go against Trent Seven. But then we saw Kenny Williams win, so I
Yep,
was like,
Kenny
okay.
Williams ended up, yep. He ended up pinning Smith though, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he's the most, I would guess you could say, exciting and marketable because it's like, okay, he's a young, good-looking baby face. Okay, whatever, we can push him. But I would have rather have seen the big heel Ashton Smith win to go against Trent Seven. Like I said, I feel that would have been the better match. Clear face, clear heel. Instead, we're going to get two, baby faces go against each other. So
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed, like I said, this match. And you took the words again. Like you just mentioned everything I had in my head because it's just like hey, Kenny Williams is more marketable than everybody else, and maybe they're just doing this to kind of break up the tag team and then just kind of like push the guy. We'll see what like they do with this, but like let's check out like the whole card right now, like the whole cup. Right there,
there it is.
Alexander Wolf, Noam Dar. Like that was going to be the match that took place in this show, and then next week we're going to get A-Kid and Flash Morgan Webster. I'm so excited about that match. Both guys I absolutely love. So whoever wins, I'm gonna be fine with that. Mastiff against Joseph Connors, and then Trent Seven, and like we said, like the Brownlee new Kenny Williams. So this turns out to be like whoever wins this is gonna be like the next superstars that's gonna be pushed. I can assure you, Jean Paul, this whoever wins this might have a possible NXT UK Championship opportunity in the future.
Oh, I'm really enjoying this Heritage Cup. And, at first I was like, okay, let's see how these rules are. I thought I understood them, but I'm like, I was excited to see the match to really like, okay, now I know how this works. And I like the format. I like the style. And I also like, we had the main event for this week, Wolf and Noam Dar, but then we saw, or we got to hear from each of the guys next week, A-Kid and you flash Morgan Webster. And Morgan Webster, I know a little bit from him, from Blackpool 2 and from the other NXT UK I watched. But hearing the promo from A-Kid about, how we, came from Spain and all that, that was really legit. And as much as I like Webster and Andrews, I'm pulling for A-Kid. I think that would be a big win for him, and that would be legit.
A-Kid is like you said, yeah, because of course, and like I gotta like, it's a little biased because of the Spanish
No,
stuff.
do it.
I gotta love the guys. We talk like the same language, we have the same background, and he said, I'm the first Spanish Spanish star signed by NXT or from WWE. Spanish person from Spain, because a lot of confusion in between people when you say Spanish, they just understand that like it's kind of South America or like the Caribbean. No, Spanish from Spain. So like that guy is like, it's actually, I can tell you something even more info. Let's go in deep. Like, because of this guy, there's a lot of people that are trying to get more WWE content in Spain. And somebody, like a journalist, just got an interview with Triple H, and they asked that. It's like, are you WWE ever going to be broadcasted in Spain? And Triple H was trying to say, well, yeah, we're trying to reach out everybody, but we gotta like get agreements with like the networks and all of that. So because of A-Kid, like he's bringing a lot of eyes to the Spanish, audiences, and I'm rooting for him. Although Flash Morgan Webster is my guy also because of like he reminds me of all like the British invasion angle, of meaning like the groups, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, and all of that, Jerry and the Peacemakers. So like all of that is Flash Morgan Webster for me. And like you said, I like the promo even from him because it's like you see Mark Andrews being like, I'm not completely healed yet. So like from my injury, so like, hey, go do your job, show what like European wrestling is. I really love this. So I'm really like you said, NXT UK, NXT America, when it comes to delivering a promo or video package, I absolutely love it.
And can I just say, up at this point into this show and the two previous shows beforehand, don't you feel that every single segment is presented that what they're saying? It's not like, oh, this is Joanna Y playing the tribal chief.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is them. This is who they are. When they say, oh, I want to go show the world that a fan from Spain grew up to be a wrestler, and I'm going to be legit, and I'm going to win this thing. I'm going to show everybody what I'm about. That's like how he actually feels. Not like, oh, somebody just told him to say that. Just whatever. Yeah.
And like you said,
it all feels real.
It's like if the guy wants to play submission, I'll play submission. If the guy wants to be like all flips, like aerial stuff, I'll do that. If the guys want to be like all wrestling, moves and stuff, I'll do that. Hey, kid, And that's my pick.
Yeah, it just
To win the
make
whole
they
thing.
everybody is just they present themselves in a very legitimate manner.
Exactly. No, and but like the one thing though, like well, you're gonna have a comment on this is because we go to the women's side, and that was gonna be Zaya Brooke, Zaya Brooke's side, and so you got a match with like Ginny, and see this match was actually not as good as I thought, and I know that Zaya Brooke's side is like really big when it comes to fandom. A lot of people in Europe, even in America, like for example, when you used to play the game, Jean Paul WWE 2K19, a lot of people will download her. Outside of like Piper Niven, she's like the most well-known woman in NXT UK. So like, I mean, the match itself was like pretty decent at most. Jeannie is like, I think that like they're trying to push her, but it's gonna be heel against heel. So I don't know how that's gonna come out. But I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Oh, the match, it was hard hitting. You really heard the forearms, and when that's the one. Even the women beat the shit out of each other, and that's badass. I really love the NXT UK brand. The only thing with Zaya is her promo and even commentary is like, oh, she's a ray of positivity and smiles, and nothing can keep her down. And even her promo, I'm like, okay, it's all like very fake happy and positive, and you can tell. I'm not saying she's negative and depressed, but it's like you can tell that's not who she is. She's not like that overly happy. Lee Rae sells it a lot better, than Zaya Brookside does. But I mean, the match, it wasn't bad. They're really pushing Ginny. Before that too, they showed, that she beat Rhea Ripley. She
Yeah,
beat Piper
Piper
Niven.
Niven.
I
Yeah,
think maybe even I don't know if she beat Toni Storm, but she beat all these like legit women, and they're really pushing her. And they're also pushing Eva Valkyrie. So there's a lot of women who they're pushing. Maybe, I could see that Valkyrie would beat her if they do a number one contender. That would just be my quick, pick for that. But I mean, this was a decent match. You got to build the women, up as well, besides just the main event. So I mean, I'm happy that Ginny got the win. I think
yeah.
that's why I would have.
The fashionista, Jean Paul. The fashion. I love the name of the finisher, the makeover. That was like
Mm-hmm.
good. Like I like
And
that.
another quick thing is this is how I would book Emma or not or Tennille
Tenille.
Dashwood. Yeah,
Tenille.
I would book her more serious like this because it's almost the same gimmick. Like, oh, I'm a supermodel, except she's like an actual supermodel. Where Tennille is like an Instagram model.
Yeah,
So
no, I agree. I like the intensity that she had. I like how like the strength when it comes to like hard hitting stuff. Like I would like Zaya had like a really good match when it comes to like selling for her. I like that aspect because every time you hear boom and you see like look like completely dazed out and stuff. I like the finisher that Zaya has. Like she has like the Brookside bomb. She was going for it, but like Ginny like countered that. But in the end, I think that like the best woman won because also she was staring at the title last week when Kaylee Ray she was right there. So like you said, I think that like the woman that is going to take the championship out of Kaylee Ray is going to be Valkyrie just because it's like the brand new superstar and they're selling her like even before the pandemic like that was the chosen one and I told you this before because see Piper Niven that was my choice but they're not going to go with her unfortunately but I feel that Valkyrie like you said, I can see number one contender between Genie and Valkyrie winning. At least that's for me. That's my prediction. We'll see what they do. But that was like the women's side of the stuff that we got in the NXT UK show. We got also like let's mention this really quickly. We got like a like kind of like the professor that we interviewed Jean Paul a few months ago, kind of like a promo by that. Like and he was like talking to the tag team, like the deadly lead, like what is it? The tag team that we had last week. He was like
pretty deadly.
pretty deadly. Yes, like he was kind of like the manager or like a wrestler like that. It was good. I like that. So worth mentioning that Jean Paul. But now let's go like see like this show like goes quick and that's why we love it because it just like gives you like that like fixture of wrestling that you want. It's just an hour. So let's go with like the match that we promised that is gonna open the Heritage Tournament and that was gonna be Noam Dar going against Alexander Wolf and we're gonna get like a special guest referee with like Pete Dunne. See, this was like good, and like you said, like at the beginning, I didn't understand the rules. But what do you think of the whole match? I want to hear your thoughts, and then I'll give you mine because this
Well,
is not a traditional match.
yeah, the one quick thing to note: Alexander Wolf came out to the legit Imperium theme, not the bullshit one that Imperium did when Marcel Bartel and Eichner did. So that was awesome. He came out to the good one, but the match. The match had the right, overall it had the right winner. I'm glad it went 5 rounds. It went, towards the end of the thing. It wasn't just like, somebody scored 2 pinfalls and done. But The one thing I didn't like is kind of how Noam Dar, who is clearly the smaller guy, yeah, he's faster, more athletic, but I didn't like how he dominated. I would say, like, overall, I'd say he dominated. I didn't really like that. I feel it should have been that he could still be cocky, but used to have Wolf dominate, but just Noam Dar uses his speed and stuff to win and like maybe cheat. But I mean, it was good. I like the rules. I think Noam Dar he got the first pinfall.
Yes,
I think in the second round, and then I don't think there was any pinfall in the third, and then Wolf got one in the fourth, and then Noam Dar got one in the fifth, or maybe the gap was in the fourth there, but
in the round, yeah.
And then when he got the fall in the fifth, it was 2-1, and then he won the thing, so there was no sixth round. But this was good. Pete Dunne got involved when Noam Dar was grabbing the ropes and he was gonna pin Wolf, and he looks at and Dunne's like, "You're holding on to the ropes," and he's like,
"What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah. I love how he literally said to Pete Dunne, he's like, "Dunne, come on, just count." He was like, "Just count," and then he kicks his hands, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
And the kick was like really intense. But let me backtrack a little bit, Jean Paul, because the first fall, like Noam Dar did like a pretty much like a roll up, and that's how he got the first fall. And but the one thing is like to tell people is like how like every round they will have like a 20-second break. Did you like that? Because for me, I would like it took me a little bit out of the match. Kind of like reminds me of boxing, and I don't know if I really like that. But like it was like for me, it's like okay, rounds like breaks. Because at some point, like Alexander Wolf will be dominating, and then ding, 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 and then like the 20 seconds.
This is what I will say about it. It made it for me have a real sports-like feel, so I like that because earlier what I said, everything on NXT UK besides Zaya Brookside's fake happiness feels legit, feels real. It feels like these guys are like wrestling is a real sport. It's not like a worked sport. It feels legit. So to have these breaks, it's like, okay, whatever. Like you saw after some of the rounds, Wolf is kind of like, oh shit, like, this guy's kicking my ass. And then you have Noam Dar, he's like laying upside down in the corner because he's like all cocky and he doesn't care. And then, the second round, he's almost like, oh shit, like, Wolf's kicking my ass. So then you see kind of like the flow of everything, and I like it. But
it's you said, for example, like in the wrestling mentality, in the boxing mentality, it's like, okay, he's dominating. How do I counter that? You have those 20 seconds to think about, to regroup, to collect yourself, and be like, okay, this is the strategy for the next round. I mean, I gotta see it from that point of view, and then I'll be behind it. But see, this is when Alexander Wolf like tied the thing, and it was like a bicycle kick, like pretty much like that was really cool, like kind of like the bro kick, like what people will say, into like a snap German and 1, 2, 3, and that was cool. I mean, he's a good wrestler, but we knew, at least for me, I knew like Noam Dar is going to be the guy that's going to be pushed, just because like nobody ever pushes Wolf. It doesn't matter if he's an Imperium, doesn't matter if he's Insanity. He's just a guy that is pretty much punished for life to just be a member of a group but never be able to break off and be on its own. But see, the last fall, like you said, there's that interaction with Pete Dunne, and see, I don't know if you caught up into this, but like when he gets the 2-1, like there. Like Alexander Wolf, he was like waiting for the move, and then Pete Dunne was completely covering him, like covering his vision. And then Noam Dar comes from the back, and he does like enziguri, like a complete enziguri. He connects completely. He gets everything with it, and then Pete Dunne like counts 1, 2, 3, and then he wins. So I was like, are they teasing something with like Wolf and Dunne? Are they teasing something between Imperium and Dunne? Are we seeing Dunne and Walter one more time? But like match itself, I will say the quality was pretty good.
Yeah, and to comment on that last spot, I agree. Obviously we know what happened after the match, but as I'm watching this, I was like, okay, when it was 1-1, I thought that Wolf was actually going to win because Noam Dar is a star. Clearly, they're going to push him, and he's one of the brightest stars on this show for the future. But I'm like, the program would be Pete Dunne versus Noam Dar. That's what I want to see. That's the match I want to see Pete Dunne kind of return for. And okay, get him back on the roster, get him wrestling. Let's be legit. Because, as good as he was here as a ref, we want to see him wrestle.
Yes.
But then, like you said, he gets the win. Pete Dunne distracts Wolf. And then Noam Dar gets the pin. He moves on. And then it's like, is that what we really want to see? Wolf and Pete Dunne? Like, I don't think so. But then, what did we see after that?
Yeah, well, like just for giggles, Jean Paul, right there, Wolf completely X'd out, and Noam Dar advances. So he'll gonna go with the bracket of A-Kid and Flash Morgan Webster. So I think that over there, Jean Paul, in the semifinal, that is going to be the end for Noam Dar. But like you said, that's what we have, like the draw right there for now till next week. But then, like you said, there was a lot of action because Wolf is like going against Pete Dunne. It's like, really, it's because of you that I lost. It's like you should have never like block my way and block my view. It's like it's your fault. It's your fault. So like Pete Dunne is like starts kicking his ass, and like he was teasing right there like the bitter end. So I pop for that.
Yeah, but the one thing is like, and now, okay, I know he just went through 5 rounds and whatever, and Pete Dunne is legit, longest reigning NXT UK champ, and I'm a huge fan of Pete Dunne, but I'm like, does Wolf really need to get his like, Pete Dunne is wearing like skin tight fucking pants, like probably can barely move, and it's like, really, like, does he like is just gonna kick Wolf's ass like Wolf's a jobber? I'm like, this dude live.
And then he did an Inzaguri, like he was good. He was good. Yeah, Pete Dunne was like had a lot of offense, and then we see our champion Volta. Volta was right there, so like kind of like Wolf was kind of getting a little bit more offense, kind of like a comeback, and then of course like 2 against 1, like the odds were like against Imperium. So they started attacking him, and like you said, kind of like in an AEW way, the number 1 contender for the NXT UK Championship shows up, Ilya Dragunov, and he starts helping Pete Dunne. So, like, to even the odds. So, what are we in WWE fashion, Jean Paul? If we are WWE fashion, since this is a brand that belongs to WWE, what are we going to see next week? Or in 2 weeks?
Oh, there's definitely a tag match coming. But this, you did mention AEW, and I did say that to you as a joke beforehand. I'm like, oh, like, they're booking like AEW. But this is, it wasn't everybody. We didn't see, like, The Hunt. We didn't see, Pretty Deadly. We didn't see everybody run out. We didn't see the, rest of Imperium. They didn't fly him in from America. No, it was just the number 1 contender. So that, it's like, okay, that makes sense. They're, like you said, they're hyping it up because if you think about it, their roster is really not that big.
Yeah, it's really tight. Yeah.
So it's like, that's why they probably have a lot of these tag team guys in this Heritage Cup. Because it's like, okay, guys are injured. We had to release how many guys because, they're horny all the time or they're like raping people and it's like they're bullshit. We got to get rid of them. So, they got to make do with what they have. But I like this. The only thing it's kind of like, is I think if you combine Ilya Dragunov and Pete Dunne, I don't think they weigh as much as Walter.
Oh, well, yeah.
So for them to kind of like, chase off the 2 obviously more dominant, bigger heels, it's like, we'll see, but I'm really looking forward to this matchup because Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate and Walter had one of the great matches, I think, in recent history. So I think Ilya Dragunov and Walter will have one just as good.
And remember the match. I know you love this match.
Oh, it's Finn Balor.
Cesaro and Ilya Dragunov. Remember?
Yeah, and Finn Balor, both those.
And Finn Balor when we covered Worlds Collide. So that was like good. So like this is going to be amazing. We don't know when this is going to happen. It might be maybe they do a takeover, like for the NXT UK brand, which WWE can make pay-per-views whenever they want to. So
yeah, they could say it's in 2 weeks from now, and Rope Break will do it.
Yeah, they will do it because it kind of works for them because they have their own channel, their own network and everything. So yeah, why not? So like this summarizes this version or this edition of NXT UK. I think that like it was like Jean Paul said, it's still exciting, and again, it's only an hour, so it's like for our fixation, our fix for professional wrestling. Hey, you guys want a little more? Right there, you get it, like you love it, and it's good, and like we got to see our champion Volta, and that's still like hyping up. And I don't know if Dragunov will be the guy to take away the championship away from Walter, but at least it's going to be a good effort.
And I love quick before, we wrap this up. I love when Walter comes out, he just yells in Austrian or German or whatever he speaks. And Pete Dunne's like, come on, get in the ring, I'll kick your ass, come on. And he's just yelling at him in like Austrian. It's like 2 just different languages just yelling at each other. Like, that's a badass.
And Walter just carries himself like
it's not like, yeah, I don't want to pick on our boy, but it's not like, I will beat you. I am the best wrestler on Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah,
it's like, okay, like Andrade, yell at me in Spanish. At least that sounds more legit.
No, exactly. Like and I keep saying that to you. I always say like if you're not strong in the language, but I know Walter is. His English is not bad, but Andrade, like that's a different story, and I love him. I'll keep saying it. Our boy is awesome, But when it comes to that, oh man, he stays just focused on the fight. Focus on the match because that's your ceiling right there, boy. When it comes to learning a language, no, my friend, just no, my friend. No. So, family, this pretty much summarizes another episode of NXT UK. Thank you so very much for watching every single thing of our content. Don't forget, we have a new home, and that is the All Entertainment. Everything entertainment. Like we have, we're really happy. Like Jean Paul uses the word beyond happy to be part of that because we can actually find over there not only wrestling content but soccer, TV content, movies, everything. There's a lot of podcasts. We want to shout out every single one of them. Thank you for the opportunity to let us be part of you guys. We love it. So you can actually find right there every single one of our videos. And soon we're going to start adding more actually articles that Jean Paul and myself are going to write, like what happened with Walter, or why does Andrade cannot got a good promo in English. That's going to be the articles that we're going to be having. So Jean Paul, remind everybody outside of that where they can find us.
We can find us on Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, the original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course, right here on YouTube, #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the original Rope Break.
That's right, Jean Paul said it the best. The only podcast that covers every single show, since we started. Since AEW started, who covered it? Rope Break. NXT is back. NXT UK is back. Rope Break. NXT, Rope Break. SmackDown, Rope Break. Monday Night Raw, Rope Break. Impact, Rope Break. So, I keep trying to say, we just like to give you the best content, and we will keep doing it. So, family, Jean Paul, myself, we have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...